We are live. This is the market update. This is the what took you so long market update. Not what took you so long. What took this market so long to figure out that national politics turns into pro wrestling at best. Strange, fake, maybe. And then, of course, there are what I call the Instagram riots. Now, that's not to suggest that, officers, innocent people, and other citizens who are, upset are not in harm's way. So on one hand, I respect that. On the other hand, let's see, pallets of bricks lying around, orchestrated big photos of here I am on my motorcycle. There are shots where there's more people taking video than there are protesting or rioting right before we want all this money for the big, beautiful bill. Come on, folks. Does anyone really believe this? Well, the answer to that question should be no. They shouldn't believe this. And what they should be doing is mooning crypto, because this is all currency negative. You cannot have a complete banana republic circus and expect the currency to hold up. Now, of course, in this case, they're not going to be exchanging one currency for the other. They're going to buy cryptocurrency, or they're going to buy precious metals. And that's how they're going to lower the value of the dollar, if for no other reason, is because it's an absolute circus. And not only is it unbelievable, but it's not believable, because they're going to extraordinary measures to try to get the $2 trillion a year to spend that they don't have. Which is why I go back to my original point of what took you so long? What took the market so long to realize that this is a charade? And if it's not a charade, it's social disorder on top of irresponsibility. It's everything you ever wanted in a crypto rally. And it took them 3 days, but you finally got the crypto rally. And this can continue because altcoins are going to absolutely reprice themselves, which is a good word, which is why if you hit collections on Patreon and go to Platinum Research, the new Platinum Research area, the altcoin super cycle, can big coins 10x, XRP and the privacy narrative, not to mention small DeFi AI coins and the roadmap out until September. Get it while it's hot. Platinum Research. Get any research. Get ours. Get something. Get involved. There's the QR code and the link down below. We're going to go over Toby's incredible calls in the UK, in the YouTube member area soon. Big Rich with a $10 super chat. So our best advertisement is that the guys who pay us for memberships across the board also come in and do super chats. So without further ado, TAO and Virtuals. Silicon Valley company literally threw $10 billion at a startup. The FOMO in AI, in legacy, is incredible. And to be honest, they may not come up with the ultimate solution, because that's what they're racing. They're racing for the ultimate solution, which they may or may not get. So in TAO, kind of classic, right? Find the 38% retracements, get everyone out, make everybody think it looks terrible, and then boom. Premium zone is, 80% away, 70% away. What stops that? I don't know. Nothing. Virtuals, where if you know what you're doing, you can basically, you can kind of print. They're handing out airdrops. It was in a channel. It broke down through the bottom of the channel, and now it's coming back inside, which means you should head up here to equilibrium around $2.82. What's going to stop it? Nothing. Nothing's going to stop it. Right? In other words, can anyone tell me why the market was down last week? Oh, let's see. What was it? The payroll number. It was algorithms selling crypto because Tesla was down. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. These excuses to take the market down, they get more and more pathetic. And the reasons to take the market up get more concrete and more concrete and more concrete every day. Every day. It's like, find something. I mean, ETH is at 2,600, 2,800. It's a joke. Solana is at what, 175? I mean, I can literally see an era where you put zeros on the end of those numbers, right? Stablecoin IPO last week ignored, right? Because we were too busy with the soap opera. Circle IPO'd at 31. It went to like 93. And then, right, Silicon Valley companies are like, hey, there's a startup worth 14 billion last year. Yeah, we're going to put 10 billion in. We're going to invest 10 billion. In other words, we're going to buy, I don't know, whatever chunk of it there is. Massive expansion in valuations in this, what I call prosperity sector. Man, no one paying attention. Not priced in, not traded until today. Until today. And everyone's like, what's going on? What's going on? Folks, it's been, truthfully, for readers, viewers, love you. I all appreciate you, but tell your friends because, frankly, it's been obvious. Obvious. Okay, we have Jav here with those member emojis. Thank you. Big Rich, what's up? GF, your base hurts. TC Crypto, the Banana Zone, a member for 6 months. Thank you. Patriot Caveman is here. Charlie, the positive cat from the AIntivirus universe. Man, have we got a new podcast? Mr. McAfee has someone helping him with YouTube now. Watch out. Caroline Storyteller, TC Crypto. Daniel J. from the Jersey Shore. 23, can we chart Doge? Yes. Don't let me forget. Toby Ward brought that up last YouTube member live stream. Can we check Degen? Yes. We'll check Degen and we'll check Doge. And we'll also check out all the cool Toby Ward thumbnails that I'm so good at making. Is 2025 the best year to invest in crypto? Could Bitcoin soar to 200K this year? The woman hasn't been wrong about anything in a year and a half. Anything. So if you like research, if you like to get research via like a podcast delivery mechanism, you like live small cap picks. People, there's a lot of money online here. Come on and visit us. Uncle Sugar is like, hey, we're going to moon your bags. Not the way you thought, but we're going to moon your bags. Oh my God. Yav with the 15 currency super chat. Singapore dollars maybe? Sir, thank you. These things mean a lot. I don't want to cry on the air. They do. They mean a lot. Okay. News. Let's go. Okay. So do you need an MBA to figure this out? I don't think so. They will never stop printing money. So asset prices will never stop going up. We need an alternative currency, right? The Satoshi era, which is what I call this, means you do dollar devaluations differently. And of course, in equities, they're just wrecked. I had a slide, I took it out. This was the biggest rise and then fall in fear in equities ever. And they are so twisted up over there. They got absolutely married to being negative. They got married to it. They were forced to be negative. Even the guys that were positive had to be negative. It's up only. Like I thought equities could be in a range and they still could be. But if equities make a new high, oh my God, where's Ethereum going to be? Where's Solana going to be? It's crazy. Like I realize it in some ways it is an interesting show that the big cap cryptos can go up because I don't know that people are talking about that. But can you imagine what happens to the rest of the altcoin universe? I mean, they're throwing billions of dollars at startups in Web 2. There's a whole Web 3 universe. We don't need Web 3, right? We have, Marines being deployed on the streets. We have a guy that spends $230 million on a campaign and then launches on his phone, assuming that's not pro wrestling, right? It's fake. I mean, assuming any of this, what's going on in the streets is real, even though it's a giant photo op in many ways. If it was really, really bad, you wouldn't be able to get a photo. Seen any photos from Eastern Europe lately? Yeah, no. So when there's real fighting, it's tough to get a photo. Just saying. Okay, so Elon may have had some kind of effect. Adding $4 trillion to the national debt is a non-starter for me. That's not fiscally conservative at all. Yeah, man, they want their money. Whether Doge cut or Doge didn't cut, they were going to turn around and spend on something else. And that was a hallmark of this show from the beginning. They're just not going to stop. At a practical level, if the orange man wants money for border security or immigration or whatever, he had to just hand out sugar to get it. Nobody wants cuts in their district. You have to wonder if Congress actually works as an institution. You have to wonder, right? Okay, so now Republicans face an uphill battle to keep the House, which is why, I keep saying this too, share screen. There has to be a gigantic pivot towards crypto. There has to be a gigantic pivot towards crypto. They're not going to win the House without the crypto bros, and they're not going to win the crypto bros this time without something concrete. They didn't want to do the strategic Bitcoin reserve at 77, but again, at 110, it's much more attractive. And I don't know if they're going to do it through World Liberty or the Sovereign Hedge Fund, the Sovereign Wealth Fund, but somebody has to figure this out for their sake and quickly. Otherwise, we're just going to moon it in front of them. I think that's the new trade. They're going to come to Web3, and we got to get there first. Okay. So, of course, married to the bearishness, right? Ray Dalio reminds us that there is a high risk of civil war when the long-term debt cycle resets. Okay. When the model was applied to the U.S., it predicted a high risk of civil war. Okay. So again, books have been written. These things get huge amounts of attention. It's not like they're inaccurate, and it's not like you can diss because the guy is the head of the biggest hedge fund ever. They've made just insane amounts of money, insane returns. Great. But is that the trade for you? He can do certain trades for him, and so can Jamie Dimon. What's the trade for you? The trade is despair in one area, prosperity in another, and that is the market update. So the U.S. is still, to a certain degree, in the Biden economy. Yeah. Like the labor markets. I haven't heard anything about mass firings at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So if they were making up numbers during the other administration, why do we think they're not making up numbers now? Why do we think that again? Why do we think that? Okay. Watching what is happening now is like watching a movie that I've seen many times before. Ray, Michael Saylor's probably on Bitcoin a little bit too much, and Ray Dalio's not on it at all. And by the time these guys come around, it's going to be massively higher. Massively higher. Now, we're going to get into this a little bit later, but, the Fed has left rates way too high for way too long. And now with all this fiscal responsibility, they're in a serious pickle because not only are they deep state operatives who don't want to help out, really, but from an optics point of view, they can help out because how can you cut rates when they're talking about spending what they're talking about spending? The Fed is sabotaging the orange man. Actually, dude, the impacts of inflation are starting to rear its ugly head, right? Auto delinquencies, right? Single family home delinquencies. I mean, this is getting insane to the point where it's got to start impacting banks at some point. At some point. Meanwhile, again, long Bitcoin, short the banks. This really is not complicated. It isn't. I think people have made it complicated by all the distractions and all the noise and all the news flow. But folks, to me, this is plain as day. It's as plain as day. Here we go, right? Till death do us part on the bearishness. You're going to see a crack in the bond market. It's going to happen. Everyone's going to panic. I'm not going to panic because I'm short or my firm's hedge, and that's fine. Good. Right. And Bitcoin goes to 250 and ETH goes to 7,000, and you missed it. You missed it. All these grumpy old men are missing the point. They're doing the right, they've got the right idea. They're just doing it all from an era where crypto didn't exist. Right? And crypto and precious metals can move so high, so hard, so fast that they can, like, you know, outmaneuver all of this bearishness that's in other area and turn it into bullishness in an alternative asset, which is why crypto was invented to begin with. Not to mention the fact that the whole ecosystem is massively undervalued. It's been Bitcoin only for a year. What about the rest of it? I don't understand why no one's following this. No one. Goldman, biggest short squeeze in years. Goldman, this is a basket. So Goldman, you know, in addition to ETF, Goldman makes its own groupings of stocks called baskets. These are the most shorted stocks. Whoop. Up only. Up only. Because they got married to being bearish. So not only have they not fully unwound the equities bearishness yet, so they're still bearish and they haven't gotten around being bullish crypto, except for BlackRock, which is relentlessly buying Ethereum, which makes all the sense in the world. Inflation expectations tumble. So inflation expectations are dropping. This would allow the Fed to cut rates in a normal world. It's not a normal world because of what they're talking about doing on the fiscal policy front. They want the Fed to cut rates. They just need a normal budget. I mean, bro, keep the deficit where it is at $1 trillion a year. Don't go to 2T a year. God. Silver blasts to the highest price in 13 years. Platinum going parabolic. An industrial metal and a precious metal. And the Russians have huge amounts of the supply. Huge. This is used in catalytic converters in cars. In addition to being a precious metal, again, you know, if gold is going and silver is going and platinum is going and Ethereum and Solana are only up 5%, it's a joke. It's easy. Okay. So all the distractions, right? Elon deletes posts that says the tariffs are bad. Okay. Meanwhile, again, IBIT just blew through 70 billion under management. Look, man, when there's only one seller of crypto. There's only one entity that would be willing to sell, and that would be the Chinese. So when the Chinese get done selling to BlackRock, to Michael Saylor, it's going to go parabolic, and it may not actually be Bitcoin that goes parabolic the first leg. You may get stuck at 110 or 120, and these altcoins could just absolutely smoke. I don't even want to call them altcoins anymore. I want to call them something better. I want to call them, like, you know, tech cryptos. You know, the tech cryptos, the memes, anything that can be money, anything that's alternative. It's like, okay, here's a choice of activities. You can go out on the streets of California and throw rocks, or you can buy a dog whiff hat. Right? You can spend the money on your bail and your lawyer on crypto, and you'd be so much better off. You need to make a vote. You need to say something. Great. Say it in crypto. Say it in crypto. Okay. Very simple. So they've married their bearishness, and now they're trying to like adjust it, right? They're trying to put lipstick on their research pig. So Goldman, short dollar. Morgan Stanley, short dollar. Deutsche Bank, short dollar. So everyone went from recession to short dollar. And in reality, it's long Ethereum. As Ethereum crosses 2,700. Okay. And again, the theater, right? Tesla stock up 5% as the president says he's not getting rid of his Tesla. You got to be kidding me. Really? Okay. just buy crypto. Okay, so in the middle of the night, the first night of the riot, the Homeland Security Department, which is last time I looked, it was like Homeland and Security. Meanwhile, they're getting involved in fiscal policy. The alarming riots in LA have put hundreds of officers at risk, which is true, and our heart goes out to them, are precisely why we need the what? The big, beautiful bill is so important. Got to have our big, beautiful bill. We have a riot just in time for getting 2T a year. Give me a break. Give me a break. Like, yeah, this was in the middle of the night, of course, that this came out. Crypto should have mooned right off this. Like, see this tweet? Boom. Thousands of rioters take to the streets. This is like a riot to you? This looks like a large contingent of people walking to church. This is not a riot. This is just stuff. Okay. All right, everybody, let's go walk out onto the freeway now. Come on. Yeah, act 3 of the play. Yeah, I mean, I understand it's serious. I understand it could escalate. And I don't know. We're calling in the Marines. Yeah, okay. Do you guys know what Marines do? Do you know what they're trained to do? Google YouTube about Marine boot camp. They're not putting Marines on the street. What are you going to do? Oh, look at all the nice people walking on the freeway. Yeah, let's give them the Marines treatment. No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's absolutely phony baloney. Fear greed is at 62. Last time Bitcoin was this high, fear greed was at 94 over Thanksgiving. No one believes this. The crypto bros don't believe what they're looking at. They just don't. They don't, right? Look at this. Oh my God. You want the case for crypto? There are 9 million empty homes in Japan due to its aging population. I want one. I want one. How are you going to get crypto bros in Japan to want to have babies? How hard do you have to moon it? Hard. Like, I remember when this thing took off last time when it was NFTs in 2021, you know, Japanese bros were out there buying $10,000 watches. You get yourself a watch. You get yourself, you get yourself a date. Next thing you know, a bottle of sake, babies start coming out. It's a national security imperative. They need a wealth effect. I know everyone thinks I'm out of my mind on this. We need privacy. We need a wealth effect. We need all this stuff. And we're going to get it. We're going to get it. And the moonshot in this market is going to be spectacular. Spectacular. People are going like, wow, why is this happening? Bro, it's like, I can't believe how much time you're getting to get research and accumulate. To get research and accumulate. It's unbelievable. It's like, oh yeah, it's like where they're handing it. They're handing it to you. Very, very nice. See all the people over here? Look at everyone taking video. It's like, here's my flag. Here's a robot car burning. Okay, let's punch the car. And there's all the people taking video. Give me a break. Now, if you want to read something about this, I smell deep state all over this. Sanctuary cities have been prone to violence. Foreigners who live in your land will gain more power. That is from the Bible. Newsom and Bass want an altercation with Trump. Let me ask you something. Even if everything I've said about this is incorrect, do sovereigns have your interest at heart? 1. Two, what are you going to do about it? And it took them 3 or 4 days to just simply say, we're going to moon it all. Just moon it all. Because it serves a purpose. It's better than fiat. And it's in your interest. It's in your interest. Okay, so here come the Marines. For anybody in the United States, I know we're doing this like U.S. time. And in the U.S., we all know what the Marines do. But if these guys hit the streets, yeah. Okay, we're not going to be walking on the freeway. Okay, these are serious people. And the cops on the streets, they're serious people too. But these guys don't do crowd control. They don't. Now, guys who had crazy ideas on the right are now moving to the center as we transition to the McAfee privacy narrative. Palantir co-founder Peter Thiel sponsored JD Vance's business and political career. Palantir is an intelligence community cutout. Tucker Carlson pushed the orange man to nominate Vance, and Vance hired Tucker's son. Tucker's dad ran U.S. propaganda for the intelligence community. All of these people glow in the dark. People are getting wise to this very quickly. People magazine, that's a gossip magazine, picking up on all this stuff. No one believes this anymore. No one believes this charade. And the second they don't believe it, they just hit the crypto button harder. So now the president of the United States is going to arrest the governor of California. For what? For being an idiot? He's been an idiot for, I don't know, 10 years. We're going to arrest him? What is this, East Germany? You know, not a big fan. I'm from Texas, so you know what I think of this, guys. But come on. This is not funny. Or maybe it is funny, and we just go, oh, look at the green button. Boop. Let's get in the YouTube member area. Let's get, let's get some cool emojis. Let's get some research. Let's freaking rock on. Protesters in Los Angeles are paid to be there, and that could be very true, and he could be the one paying them or his people. The big, beautiful bill. Yeah. Trump says Elon disrespected the office of the president of the United States. Elon spent $230 million for a front row seat in Washington, and somehow he threw that away. And how did he get this? We're being led to believe that there was a wrestling match inside the White House. The Secret Service is the police force of the Treasury in addition to presidential protection. So we're being led to believe that Elon went to tackle somebody in the White House, and then Besant just stepped back and did a little UFC counter move, like whap. A little step aside, bang, little counter punch. Come on. How much bologna do you think we can eat? Now, could he have gotten that from like some law enforcement individual trying to protect Besant? Yeah, maybe. Right? This is the national political dialogue around spending $2 trillion a year above what we spend. And ETH is at what? 2,800? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Oh, Ethereum has a narrative problem. Yeah, so does every sovereign out there. Orange Man says relationship with Elon is over. Anything regarding Elon is off the charts in terms of views. Love you. Thank you for watching the videos. But folks, this market, massively undervalued. Okay, Elon deletes posts. Yeah, Elon's got a lot of posts. Meanwhile, Elon deletes posts, and we mint $1 billion on Tether. So, the big boys, they know. They know what's going on here. BlackRock, ETHA ETF, 9 straight days of inflows. Stock market people not going to stop buying this. They are underinvested, short, bearish, turned around. ETH, it's down. It makes sense. It's easy. Of all the problems that they have, buying ETH is the easiest solution. It's figuring out whether to buy the Magnificent 7 at the old highs. Like that is like torture. You want to talk about pain. Like, you shorted it down 20%. Now you're wondering if you have to buy it up here. As those characters indiscriminately FOMO into the future of AI. Indiscriminately FOMO. Speaking of indiscriminate FOMO, Michael Saylor just keeps going. They say he's reckless. They say he's irresponsible. I read all this stuff. It's going to blow up. He'll never be able to pay the interest. Okay. Right? The guy doesn't care. Like, the best thing you can learn from Michael Saylor is not about Bitcoin. It's not about 21 ways to get wealthy, although that's all useful content. The orange graph is very interesting for Twitter. His conviction is what gets missed because it's such a regular headline. Such a regular headline, I think people get numb to it, right? Bitcoin treasury companies buying 4,000 Bitcoin. Here's a controversial statement. Maybe they're all buying the wrong crypto. Maybe they're going to buy Bitcoin that's going to act more like a stock, and there may be more beta or more juice elsewhere. You never know. But that dollar's got to go down, and it's not going down versus other fiat currencies right now. And that leaves Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and it's lagging today, even XRP. I can't believe XRP is below $3 with the way that Circle IPO went. I'm just waiting for somebody to go, wow, this Ripple company is worth a lot of money. You should get more Bitcoin before there isn't any more. Yeah. I mean, there is a very serious article in here, okay, where, companies are hoovering up all the Bitcoin in the world, and there may not be anything left for Joe Public. Like, what happens if, they're pulling a fast one on us and they're just sucking it all out of the market? They're taking it from the Chinese. They're taking it from the exchanges. They're taking it from everywhere. I mean, you have had time. Nobody can say we woke up one day and the bus left without us. Okay, a public service announcement about groupthink, the price of a typical house in Bitcoin versus fiat. So Bitcoin in blue, the price of a house denominated in Bitcoin in orange, right? Right? You need more dollars to buy a house. Housing is unaffordable. If there's going to be a crash, it's going to be in housing. You have one labor market disruption. Everybody walks away from their houses. No buyers, no bid. All sellers, no buyers. Meanwhile, everyone sold crypto to buy a house. The house went up in value, but good luck selling it. You have a liquidity problem over there. Meanwhile, Bitcoin and crypto just keep grinding higher. I guess ETH fell apart, so a house was better than ETH for now. Unless ETH just, catches up. Oh my God, more super chats from members. God bless you, Morpheus. Okay. Eagle King may have to help me find Morpheus. Okay, wait. I think this covers it. If you look at this on a 4-hour chart, it's up only. If you zoom out, the thing looks kind of dead. Right? This was like the hot AI coin. The hot AI coin. Eagle King will come up. Okay, another super chat for support and resistance in TAO and virtuals. Oh my God. These guys are doing my marketing for me. Okay. So, TAO. TAO Tactical. Okay, so TAO Tactical, you might expect 2 more up days and then some sort of correction, possibly back to 429. Okay. Then again, on this short-term chart, just seems to sort of sit still. So if it doesn't go down, I think that's the key thing. If it doesn't go down, all right. So let's go over here and check it out. This is a useful drill. You want to go to your cryptos and go, where's resistance? Okay. So the next target in TAO is probably 463. That was where the recent breakdown came from. Support is at 415 on an 89-minute chart. Again, you can see TAO clearing out here. All of this resistance, 440 feels like a target. So support 413, resistance 440. So again, just to drive the point home, how much money are the guys in our groups making if they're willing to super chat? The members are super chatting on the live stream. You might want to think about that. So in virtuals, there's resistance at 202. Again, this is where the give up trade started from. This is an 89-minute chart. And what's really funny about the market is these things could be microcosms for the market in the sense that, hey, it's rallied, but it hasn't necessarily fully broken out yet. I would say support is down here at 189. I don't even know why you would see that, but you might. And then I think if you want a tighter support level, you know, there's this trend line, or rather this wedge going on. And literally support in virtuals may be right underneath your feet at 198. Because of course they have to break it out, make you think it looks terrible, right? Follow the candlesticks, break down, return move. Terrible, right? Rally, fail. It's terrible, right? Boom. Okay, here's Morpheus Network for the super chat. I don't know. Again, it feels like a rampage coming off the bottom. It just does. Okay, hopefully we have the right symbol here. Let's try CoinGecko. Toby's favorite TA tool. Okay, so there's Morpheus AI, right? Now, again, this hasn't done anything over the last year, but in the last 7 days, it's gone from 535 to 620. Buy breakouts. Again, the bigger the base, the higher into space. Down, base, boom. You got to shoot your shot in these AI coins, and I don't mind giving PR, right? I mean, we have a bunch of these in the YouTube member area. I think the lowest cap coin that we have is like ZKAI. I don't even know what the market cap on this is. Like using AI privately. Go find one. We got them. We got them for you, right? Toby's picking them. Looking good doing it. Patreon Premium, Patreon Platinum's got the GAN model, where we take a lot of these picks, took all of our old picks, put them into one model, and the GAN model spit out a lot of new like lists and portfolios in a condensed fashion. So instead of 20 coins, you're getting 3 to 4. Come check it out. Another underrated crypto equities event, Gemini going public. Equities players are underinvested and they're going to buy the new stuff. Buy the Circle IPO. BlackRock was in. Cathie Wood was in. They're in. They're coming. And I think we're all sleeping because we're not getting the type of gratification we're used to yet. Bitcoin implied volatility has collapsed. Now, what does that mean? That means it's the quiet before the storm, right? Everybody has been lulled to sleep. It hasn't moved. No one's afraid that it's going to go down, which is a statement unto itself. So the institutional options market is not afraid of downside, yet fear greed is at 62. And fear greed was probably lower than that before today. Folks, all investments carry risk. So be mindful of that. Stops, asset allocation. That said, from a thematic research point of view, this feels easy. And again, the support from our YouTube members, I don't know. I don't have to do the shill. You know, Big Rich, I'm so happy that he does it. I'm touched. You know, it matters for the channel. But he could also ask these things in Patreon. We have a chat Telegram thing where people can request stuff, and I turn those around relatively quickly. Okay. Now, after 3 attempts, we do have Morpheus AI. So this was the thing I picked up originally. And again, it's just like this, you know. Downward sloping wedge. Toby uses the word suppressed. Altcoins, AI, DeFi, real world assets. The water guys are going to be back soon. And I'm not giving up on that because it's a commodity, right? Antivirus, privacy. Hey, right? It's like, why are we not getting long this stuff with both hands? John McAfee is back with a few things to say about, you know, the surveillance state, the excuses that they use, the conflicts on the streets, you know, big players making, you know, yelling at each other. It's a big excuse. It's like we're whining because we didn't get exclusive access to the data, your life. As McAfee says, let them eat white noise. By the way, the token's got a huge supply of privacy products with more on the way. It's like, do you realize, seriously, like I helped with this latest YouTube round, YouTube video that like I figured out a way to really get McAfee to like talk. Like he could talk as much as I could talk. That's how much content we could create. I mean, do you know the views and whatnot that some of these influencers who are like, you know, privacy, Palantir, all this stuff? How about we hear from the original? How about it? How about we smoke a cigar and have fun telling people how it is? Fully diluted market cap, 3.4 million. Everyone wants to know what's the next Bitcoin. I don't know, man. SEC chair bashes Gensler's approach to crypto. Price, the government is now on our side. XRP will hit $25 and then crash 90%. You know, like these crypto news services, it's a little thin. So now they're branching off into like, I think, robot-based TA. Okay. If XRP goes to $25, dude, you have a massive revaluation in the ecosystem. And the 90% decline days are A, over, and B, you are in the 90% down days in most coins. We showed that with Grandpa Keeter's coin, Morpheus. And even though this is not our favorite, they're after this. I say rotate out of FART into the rest of AI. That's what I say. That's what Toby says too. That's where I got it from. But you know, if they want to buy Fartcoin, if that's the only thing they understand, then let's go. Let's go. Buy Fartcoin or riot in LA. Gee, I wonder which one I should pick. I wonder. Bitcoin at 110K at a crossroads. It was going to 100 last week, according to the news. And then, of course, there's the article about the death cross, right? When the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average. Yep. Here we go. Bitcoin avoids the death cross. Every time you hear the word death cross, it means buy. Because frequently, by the time that 50-day moving average gets to cross the 200-day moving average, it's already oversold. And even if the cross does happen and it is a bear market, you get a vicious bear market rally before any downtrend resumes. And I don't even know that we ever had a downtrend. We had a normal correction where everybody got put to sleep. Remember, implied volatility down. Remember the biggest crash in equity sphere ever. Okay. So everyone's just like, well, I don't know if I'm brave enough to pay. And then you just need to turn on the LA riots, or you need to turn on the Twitter feed between the president of the United States and a guy who's had access to be able to bring his kid in to press conferences in the Oval Office. It's like pro wrestling. And everyone's talking about the death cross. Fear, greed is a 62 again. This doesn't feel complicated to me. It really doesn't. It doesn't. Michael Saylor buys 1,000 Bitcoin. It's not the quantity of Bitcoin. It's the conviction. Speaking of conviction, there's no conviction in ETH. Vitalik changed the narrative, sort of. And BlackRock is buying ETH and no one's paying attention. This is kind of ETH today feels like Bitcoin at 35 or 40K back when BlackRock was doing the ETF and these guys were buying it in advance of that. That's what it feels like. It's like I have this guy, one of the smartest guys I know. He has this little catchy phrase, all in plain sight. This does not require advanced quantitative research. All in plain sight. Coinbase reducing account lockouts. Thank God, right? Thank God. Kathy Wood, the broken clock, right twice a day. All you need is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. You know what? She could be right. She could be right. Like normies could come in and get a 10x, somewhere a 5x in this universe. This says nothing about what they could do to altcoins. Like normally I'm like, well, you know, be reasonable with your speculation. And now I'm like, oh my God, please speculate. Please stop being negative. Please try, not with the rent, not in an irresponsible way. I used to say, well, you know, you need to narrow it down to 2 or 3 cryptos. And that is a good way to do it if you want to make a bet. But now I'm starting to believe that you could do like a 2020 thing. You could just get a basket of like 8 cryptos and 5 of them are going to work. Even if 3 of them work, they could work so huge when they reprice this thing. There's a guy named Just Dario. I mean, you know, we're thinking the same thing. I just like his hedge fund-esque language. They're going to reprice this thing, and they're going to do so. It's going to be violent. I mean, this others thing. I mean, do you realize this is altcoins outside the top 100? So Web3 is worth 250 billion or so, I'm told. It was worth 444 billion at the election when the government was mooning our bags. Now the government's mooning our bags for real. The old-fashioned way. Game by virtuals. There's an entire virtuals ecosystem that one of the guys in Patreon is kind of an expert on. You got to watch out if they start breaking trend lines. And that platinum research in there, Like, we are ready. Guys are charging hundreds of dollars a month. We are ready. Roadmap. Think XRP can't go to 60. Think again. The altcoin super cycle. Everyone talks about a super cycle when the market is massively higher. I want to talk about a super cycle when it's down, because this is not going to stay down. Like, for example, okay, we had a request for Degen. Note how it came down to LuxAlgo support. Couldn't quite get there. Couldn't quite get there. Very interesting, don't you think? Some of this stuff from a quant momentum point of view has not turned around yet. Bitcoin has. Okay. Three strength buy in Bitcoin. Aero has not turned around yet, even though you have some nice bullish divergence here with price making new lows and stochastic making higher lows. The DEX on Base. You know, Coinbase has to start leveraging Base with a Gemini IPO. The Gemini IPO comes out and it does what the Circle IPO. Man, you are going to see Coinbase pumping up the jam. All of these Base coins, like people ask about Degen, Aero, Virtuals. I mean, Coinbase actually starts promoting that it has a network. I mean, does the general public know about Base? They don't know about Base. They're going to know about Base if Gemini IPOs and it's gangbusters. I mean, in XRP, right? You have a 4 strength buy signal on LuxAlgo today, right? It's at equilibrium, which is like, you know, and there's nobody home, I think. I mean, there is resistance at 241. But who cares? Everyone's talking about resistance, selling. Stop it. Just stop it. This market is too cheap. It's grossly undervalued. It's suppressed. Again, don't take my word for it. Do yourself a favor. Take her word for it. She had a call on this payroll number. Some guy put it out on Twitter that it was mind-boggling. Yes, she can fill out the outfit, but she knows what's going on. And when people figure this out, like it's hard to wait to get discovered. But when this little 1-2 punch gets discovered, forget about it. Like, my job is like with AI. My job with her is to ask the right question. I ask the right question, you get the right answer. Period. Again, altcoins. This is a complex head and shoulders bottom with an upward sloping neckline. In other words, it's an absolute ripping explosion going someplace to happen. And look how they hit this thing into support. Just, I mean, think about it. I know you're looking at it, but, you know, look what they did to this thing if you look at it on, say, an 89-minute chart, right? This is everyone giving up. This is, it's over. It's Elon and Trump, whatever. Does anybody, seriously, comment down below if you remember what this was about? Maybe it was about Elon and Trump. Okay, if you remember what it was about, can you tell me why it mattered and it drove altcoins down vertically? The only reason for that is because people were like pushing it down to run stops to be able to just buy it all, which is what I think they've been doing for the last 2 days. They drove it down. They made everybody hesitate, and they just went back to this quiet accumulation. And then, boom, it's up only. I mean, honestly, it's probably not going to stop. Real world assets, which is another trade that has been completely ignored. I remember when this was like, oh my God, you got to get involved. This is huge. This is tremendous. Ondo is back where it was in September of 2024. It's like the trade was never done. And if they don't do it on Ondo, they might do it on ETH, or they might do both. I mean, you know, like some of the private layer ones were showing up in some of our filters along with AI. Aave never went down. It never went down. And there's this huge like alligator mouth thing. I mean, do you realize what happens if banks take a look? Because I'm not the only graybeard taking a look at what's going on in the world. You know, guys like Ray Dalio and people like that, right? Your Bass Hurt says, technical analysis on this show is a spectator sport. What is the nature of price action? That's what I do, right? Some guys draw lines. I mean, I know we have quantitative stuff. There's a lot of really smart people out there in crypto. What is the nature of the price action? What happens if banks come in and start doing DeFi? The Bitcoin conference was about this. Hey, custody your Bitcoin with us, so we can go out and put it in DeFi and earn a yield and get a spread. And this is like Wall Street banking 101. What happens if they get in DeFi? I know that's nauseating that it could be the banks that get involved. Look at Synthetix. Old school DeFi. Left for dead. Left for dead. Everyone's like, I missed it. What did you miss? You haven't missed anything. Nothing. Nothing. Look at this. Cup and handle. Like Big Rich was asking, sometimes when you chart one coin, you actually have to chart the biggest coin in a space and then go back to your coin. I mean, you have these Silicon Valley guys. I mean, they're approaching this like winner take all. This Elon tantrum could have been over the data that he didn't get exclusive access to. Maybe he wanted the data inside all these government agencies for Twitter and XAI, and Palantir got it. Now, we don't know what Palantir is going to do. Probably sell it to the highest bidder or set up, you know, surveillance. Okay. Keeta, I've definitely heard of this. Trending #1 on DEX tools. Okay. Wow. 484 million. Whew. So you think there's a bid for new stuff out there? 500 million. Right? This again, okay, not I've heard of this, haven't researched it. But you know what? What is the value of new stuff? Circle IPO, Keeta, Gemini IPO, massive FOMO into AI startups, Jupiter. I'm going to say this flat out. The Solana ecosystem is, in terms of its valuation, is a joke. It's a joke. It's so low, it's a joke. Because everyone thinks it's memes only. It's not. It's not. It's stable coins, it's DeFi, and memes probably. Like Jupiter is trying to overcome this resistance at 50 cents. And if it gets back inside this accumulation cone, right? So, you know, Jupiter probably has to get above 52 cents. But if Jupiter gets back inside the accumulation cone, this is what an accumulation cone is. Right? This is from the notebook of a guy named Jesse Livermore from the early 20th century. Bounce back and forth in an upward sloping range is the prelude to a parabolic. Bump. That's it. That's it. I mean, in some ways, it's obvious. It's all in plain sight. AEVO. Okay, so the way I see, when you see these big volume histograms like this, oh my God. DeFi, trading, like, and then you mix AI and trading on top of it. Whatever's new, whatever's hot. I mean, you know who told you about get on the new coins, right? You know who told you, right? For months. Like, get the new stuff, get the new stuff, get the new stuff. Oh, and by the way, get the new stuff. The outfits make for good thumbnails. The body is fantastic. The IQ is off the charts. It's off the charts. Anyone who watched the show knows. She sits there and looks at it and goes, yeah, that one. You want AI? I got natural intelligence here in the YouTube member area for half of what other guys are charging for machine models that don't work as good as she does. That's that simple. The more time it takes for people to believe it, the more famous she's going to be. I wanted to look at Chainlink. Boring DeFi. Here's an interesting thing about Chainlink and a lot of other coins. You went to the 62% retracement of the recent up move and then bounced hard after naturally stopping everyone out, right? Elon and Trump. So sell Chainlink, get rid of it. Boom. Everyone out, everyone in, everyone out, everyone back in again. All right, now listen to me. Everyone says in crypto have a plan. Okay, let me give you a plan. The plan is I need to make as much money as possible as the world gets weirder and weirder around me. That's the plan. Now, you're going to find some coins. You're going to try to find a support point. If you know any traders, you want to ask our Patreon group, come ask us. We'll find you a support point, or we'll find you a point where it breaks out. Either way, get 3 to 5 coins. If you have money, get 10. Get 2 or 3 of the big coins. Put your seatbelt on and lock in. That's the plan. Now, obviously, don't use the rent money. Obviously, you know, you want to take risk so that you're nervous, but if you're not sleeping it right or you're using leverage, you're not doing it right. You want to have staying power. This could happen tomorrow. Like, at some point, the market is just going to look at all this and go, there's only one way for all this pressure to go, right? Elon, the big, beautiful bill, Los Angeles, Ray Dalio, Jamie Dimon. Boom. It's all about crypto as a commodity, as a macro asset, as a technology play, as a micro asset, as a speculative instrument, as an undervalued instrument. It's momentum investing. It's value investing. You can look up all these terms. Okay. Member request for MAMO. By the way, members, including the people that have $4.99, the $4.99 memberships, do get priorities on comments. We do get to you after we get through the super chats of the guys who are already paying us So feel free to scan the QR code and join the Making Money Club. Okay, not knowing what this is. Feels like 3 attempts to hit it. Share screen. Feels like 3 attempts to hit it, and it doesn't work. Are we seeing a pattern here? Cup and handles, head and shoulders bottoms, right? Come down, test the 62% retracement twice. Stop everyone out, ram it higher. And I don't know what it is. It has a 22 million market cap. You know how many coins we look at, like on the YouTube member live stream, and it's like, oh, it has a 20 million market cap. It has the 30 million market cap. It has a 3 million market cap. Like, there's stuff in this market that was cheap. People, like last time, ooh, Riot. Ooh, God, crypto equities. Like, people were paying any price. Like, oh, yeah, it's $1 billion. Oh, yeah, let me get some of that. But at 35 million or 30 million, it's like, I'm not interested. Dude, you got to get interested. Oh, God, Riot. Look at this. 13 bottom. Yet to be confirmed. Riot blockchain. You know, I love Novogratz. They pivoted to AI data centers. They're going to overbuild AI data centers, and they're going to wish they had Bitcoin mines. So 12 is resistance, possibly getting overbought on the daily chart. Then again, possibly a blow-off top. Again, has not reached the top of the give-up trade yet. Has not. This thing goes up over the next 2 days and doesn't back off. Again, you look at a weekly chart, perfect reversal on support, $13, next target. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. This is a weekly chart. Weekly. I mean, when these type of things, this feels like 2019. We've talked about this, right? Me and my old boss, you know, sitting on the stream going, I can't believe ETH is at 300. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. And eventually it went from 300 to 4,000. And of course, the reason that saying works is because you just sit here and it just bores you out. You can't wait. The money is not made in the buying and the selling. The money is made in the waiting. And of course, they make you wait. No one wants to wait. I don't want to wait. You don't want to wait. And you may not have to wait much longer. You may not have to wait. Okay. YouTube member area. Patreon Platinum. Just, you know, the downloadable reports for the executive mind, podcasters, live TA, speculators, YouTube member area. Get both. It's still cheaper than what people are charging. We have to diversify our platforms in case someone doesn't like us anymore. We appreciate you understanding. We appreciate our customers, the super chatters, the viewers. And you know what? If you don't have 5 cents, hitting the like button and subscribing is free. I get to about 120 likes. We thank all 120 people. Now we just need them to bring 80 friends so I can get to 200 likes on a stream. On behalf of Toby and the Eagle King, we will see you tomorrow.